Welcome to the Ambitious Bookkeeper channel. I am Serena Shoup, your host, and today I'm talking about whether or not you should actually offer tax. And this is based on an audience question, so let's get to it. Hey, and welcome to the Ambitious Bookkeeper Podcast. I'm Serena Shoup, CPA, a mom of three, and I've been running a virtual bookkeeping business from my home since 2017. You are in the right place if you are a bookkeeper, accountant, or an accounting student, and you believe and know in your heart that your purpose is bigger than sitting in a cubicle. If you're ready to learn some actionable tips and strategies for starting and growing your accounting business, then I hope you stick around. I had someone email me asking a question about offering tax. So I'm going to go ahead and read the question and then I'll get into answering it. So this person emailed in, "Hi Serena, I really enjoy your podcast and recently have been looking into your training options." Awesome. If you too are interested in my training options, you can find the links in the show notes or below where you're watching this episode. She says, "I'm a CPA and have been with a smaller firm for about 12 years. I worked from home and I love it, but the owner plans to retire in 2 years and is looking into options to sell. In the past, we discussed the option of me taking over, but the firm does individual and corporate tax, which I do not have a ton of experience in. I do all the bookkeeping reports, sales tax, payroll, etc. My question to you is, why have you not used taxes as an additional service in your firm? Is there a podcast covering this?" There is now. "I would love to have my own firm of just accounting services, but I also don't want to leave my boss before he sells. I'm thinking of taking on some bookkeeping clients now on my own, and maybe I can slowly create my own firm. Any thoughts? I value your time and input and will keep tuning in for when I can purchase your BBA program. Thanks for all you do for us." Thank you, listener. I promise to keep you anonymous. So yes, thank you so much for writing in and asking this question. And for any of those of you who are listening and have questions like this or very different questions, you can always email us, support@ambitiousbookkeeper.com, and just put in the subject line podcast question. All right, so let's get into this. There's kind of two parts to this question. I wanted to read the whole thing to provide some context, but I'm going to dive into a couple different aspects of it. So basically what I would do if I was in your position, I would probably approach it like this. Number A, build your additional book of business with bookkeeping clients on the side as a safety net for 2 reasons. If you buy the firm and you want to merge the two, you have more recurring revenue to cover the sale price and operations. Number 2 in that of why is if you end up not buying the firm and want to exit, you have your own thing building. So either way, I do believe that I'm not going to say you should build your own book of business on the side, but that's how I would approach it. Since you're already thinking about doing that anyway, it sounds like you want to and you enjoy it. So I'm here to give you a little boost and encouragement if that's the case. Now, number B, if you buy the firm, you could, and like I said, this is kind of how I would approach it, buy the firm, hire a tax CPA or an enrolled agent, someone who specializes in tax, wants to do tax, wants to manage that side of thing, but perhaps doesn't want to own their own firm, and have them sign returns and manage that whole process. This is actually something that I have been wanting to expand into because, like you, I do not have a strong enough background in tax, nor do I enjoy doing tax, but I do see the value in having a full service firm because I have lost clients that have gone with other firms that can do all of it. And that's kind of a hard pill to swallow. I also go back and forth with, but we specialize in bookkeeping or client accounting services. But I'm also a CPA, so it kind of like doesn't make sense that I don't offer tax in the mind of clients often. It makes sense to me, but it is something that I have to address on all my discovery calls that I don't provide tax. We do sales tax, but we outsource and refer the income tax out at year end. So what I have been doing, because that is an ultimate vision for my firm, is to grow a tax side of it, is I'm constantly networking with other tax pros and building those relationships for when the time comes or when the time is right. I can either buy a book of business and bring the tax preparer on as a manager of that arm of the business, or have enough of a book of business by that time that would be that my book of business would be willing, my clients would be willing to use us for tax. And so it would cover that tax person's salary, even if it's just part-time. So here's the thing, like you never know who might be out there, a mom only wanting to work part-time, but not run her own firm, but loves doing tax. I know she exists. And if you're listening and that's you, please email me. It really all boils down to your ultimate vision and what you want. So I hope this perspective helps, and I will definitely be waiting to hear back from anyone in the audience who thinks they're a perfect fit for joining my firm as the tax manager and being able to manage that whole side of things. But yeah, so thank you so much, listener, for submitting that question. I hope this gives you something to think about. And you also, whoever is listening or watching this, if you're on YouTube, I hope this gives you something to think about too. And you don't have to offer tax. That's the other thing is, like, I've been doing this for 7 years. And I did offer tax at the very beginning and quickly realized that I did not like it. And so out of the 7 years, 6 of it, I have not offered tax, and it really hasn't been a problem. I think I've only lost actually 1 client from it. So it's not a big deal. There was other factors as well, but yeah, it is something that I toy with and wish I could provide so that it was kind of all under one roof and easier to communicate with the tax preparer and all that. But then there's the other side of it. The other dark side of it is building out the tax process and building out the systems for that, because our back-end system is not really built for preparing taxes. We are built like a boutique bookkeeping firm. And yeah, so there's different things you have to think of, and that would change our insurance because we don't offer tax and all that. And then kind of the level of like, okay, if it's my name on things, like who's actually signing the return and who's ultimately responsible for what happens with those tax returns if that person is not an actual partner in the business. So there's so many things to kind of consider in that, but I hope this helps. Let me know, comment below the video if you're watching, or shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm at Ambitious Bookkeeper. And if you found this valuable, please rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. You're probably already subscribed because you're seeing this. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in each week. I really, truly appreciate each and every one of you. And honestly, the best thing you could do is share this with a friend. And talk to you next week. Thank you to everyone who helps make this podcast possible. Content and interviews are produced by me, Serena Shu. Our intro and outro music is written and performed by my brother, Ian Gilliam. Editing is also by Ian using his awesome sound engineering skills along with Descript software. Hosting and publishing is by Buzzsprout. And you can check out the show notes for links to all of these amazing resources and resources mentioned in the episode.
Be ambitious.